Call meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is to review and approve the minutes from the meeting, July 27th.
Make a note to approve them.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Is everyone? Okay, on to the plan revision review. So I guess Richard figured out the lineal feet, current lineal feet of the stacks in our existing library. And here are the proposed ones in the plans. And please, it would practically double our, more than double our existing shelves, so there's plenty there to work with. Okay, and then we have some estimates on costs. Everybody's had a chance to look at them?
I looked at it the other night.
Okay.
So what I did was I took, at the last meeting, we had the Hammond proposal. But then it was like, well, how did that fit into everything equitably? So I said I would take the Hammond number and try to blend that with some of the numbers that they provided us in that initial $3.5 million cost. So I pulled a lot of their numbers over. I pulled some of them down just because they seemed excessive. But then like in that 3.7 estimate that they had initially provided us, there was a placeholder for owner's representative, but there wasn't a price for that. So that's the person that's gonna oversee the project. So I put in 50,000 for that, so, and then I didn't know on labor, I stuck around cost of materials plus a little bit. Just to try to give us an idea. We knew that there were commercial doors and stuff like that that weren't gonna be included. So I put a $50,000 allowance in for that. And then largely I stayed in line with what they had on the non-construction side. So that brought you up to about 1.73 million with the first proposal that we had. Tom came in the last meeting and we made a few tweaks to the building, modified the materials list, and then the committee asked for a hard price. That different exterior material, and so that increased your materials price from 264 to about 303. And then I added a little bit on materials just so it aligned in the method of estimating labor, and then moved everything down through, so that put you at 1.8.
Yes, I did.
Anybody have any questions?
My only question is, we're moving forward with this, with these numbers. And are we still looking at the New Balance building?
So I think that's gonna be something Gene wants to talk about a little later in the meeting, is get us to a place where we're fine covering. While we wait for a couple other things to play out. But these numbers, I would say, are very conservative in terms of our budgetary number. Maybe not the construction side of things, I think it will balance out when you talk about $200,000 of movable equipment in this building, $150,000 in technology. Those were numbers that they used, even higher than that in the original proposal.
Right.
I think those are huge numbers that we would get to. And we have contingency already built into, so, I mean, I would. Comfortable moving forward, if we move forward in this style with these numbers.
It gives us room to wiggle.
Yeah, but I think Gene and I talked about it briefly, we wanna get this situated so we kind of can put a bow on it for right now, and then see how other options might play out, and then if we need to pick this back up.
I think it looks good. No sense making people do more work, just to pause everything and have an outdated bid in 6 months. Right, makes no sense. To ask anybody to do that. Their time.
So looking at the plans, does anybody have, I know we spoke with the with Mr. Nichols at the last meeting about, a few adjustments that he made and, I guess, as Richard said, we've got to decide if we get to a point or if this is our point that we're getting to say, okay, let's pause and wait, because it's gonna take a few months to find out, if we do have other options. Maybe we don't, but at least we'll be at a place
Yeah.
where we can move forward and pick this back up again, moving forward. If things, we don't end up having any other options, let's say.
Right.
So is that something we have to take a vote on? Do you think, or just discuss?
Yeah, I think you. If you're happy with the position, then I think you can just go by consensus. And I think one of the other things is we could pivot into funding search. So, as we have downtime, if that's what you guys would like to do, then, keep your eyes open for grants that might support, because whether it's on this site or another site,
We'll still need that.
a library construction grant would be valuable. Or anything necessarily related to the library materials, sorry.
Well, how do you feel about it, Roger? Let's go around the table.
Well, I agree. I mean, if this is pretty darn close to what we want. And we don't need to do any more refining on it at this point. We can just put it on hold until we see if there's anything else in the works.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I agree. I mean, why ask for people to do more work when we really don't know what's gonna happen? But do you have kind of a time frame, Richard, as to how long it's going to take for
So, as we look at the New Balance facility, I think you're looking till later this fall before we would figure if there would be opportunity for us to blend in
Mhm.
the library.
Okay.
I think if we are able to move anything over there, if we're able to move ahead with that property, the strong likelihood of the library as a whole there, if that's what the library would like.
How do you feel about it, Jeff?
Look pretty positive, this is like gonna cover concrete, electrical and. Plumbing and,
Well, I use the budgetary numbers that they
Yeah.
had, right?
that stuff changes.
Right.
Changes so much.
I mean, they had. Like the utility connection allowance, I can't believe that that's gonna be $70,000 for us. But,
Okay,
the site development with 300,000. I can scale either way, they used 304,000, and what I would argue was the inflated cost estimate out of the gate. We've got sewer there, we've got water there already.
right. Power.
Right.
Yeah, I'm all right with, we don't feel like it's a good place to pause. And if New Balance, one way or another, if it. is going to be a community building in New Balance, would you need one here still? You know what I mean, is that gonna change anything?
I think that's when we reconvene the committee. And
Think about
after, this should go to the trustees too, in case there's anything that's unsettled, but. And then see, does the library want to move forward with moving to Depot Street if that becomes an option? Obviously, that's a big enhancement for community draw, if it's there, it's foot traffic for everybody. And then then waffling with funding mechanisms. If you move to Depot Street, then I think there's other funding that could support the library project. Whereas if you stay on Mercer Road, then it's probably gonna be very project specific,
And you
grant construction.
could never expand Mercer Road to any big extent, you could never add on anything or.
That's the limitation of that property.
If you're a New Balance, you could have a nature walk, I see a place where you could put a bridge over to the park. Something simple like that, that could open up,
A lot of
it could
different-
open up a lot of different stuff,
Yes.
so. Yeah, I think it's probably the time to wait until, see what New Balance does.
How do you feel?
I agree, yeah, I agree. I feel like everything with the plan, if we're gonna get really nitpicky, we can still be nitpicky when we put it back up.
Right. I. All right, so we will,
Does anybody have any major changes or not? Very small changes that I can just make note of
No.
even?
None I'm gonna win.
Yeah,
Would there be any advantage to having the stacks on the front of the building on wheels as opposed to?
I'm not for it.
Just the environment and
Because I know that, I don't know what the new librarian's gonna do, but with Kelly, she was having a lot of get-togethers for different, some for kids, some for adults and stuff. I didn't know if there was an advantage to be able to move these things off to the side. If there was gonna be some
right,
crafts thing or whatever, but,
actually, that sitting area there in the, back of the, that's, 400 square feet.
Yeah.
That's pretty good size
Pretty big.
area for any
Yeah.
kind of,
pretty big.
yeah.
I get nothing to add, other than maybe seeing if we get a visualization of it on the lot, if that's the thing. I know it's a little bit of work, but. See what we look
it
like
would be a good idea.
on the lot, at least to. From above, from the front, and both, and
Is there any other business? Do we want to set a date for the next meeting, or do we want to leave it to be determined as, things progress?
Probably be determined.
Yeah.
Easy enough, because it'll very likely be around the holidays, so it'll.
right,
You want to wait till January or prior to Thanksgiving, so. We'll play it by ear, see how much information comes in. I think,
Sounds good to me.
are you, everybody here for the winter?
Mhm.
You,
Sorry, I
you
say
found-
yes.
you guys stay local all winter? You travel in the winter?
Yeah, I travel in the winter.
I
I
mean,
don't go away in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not for any length of time anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go away, but not for any length of time, so.
Okay. Then, in case we'll adjourn the meeting.
Right.
Another record.
we did it in